Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Dead Synchronicity. Tomorrow comes today. I checked a guide. There were two things I missed. I'm sorry, I'm kinda sleepy. So first things first. Told me to try to use the notebook.
I'm not gonna do it. The entire world.
Yeah, it was for a trophy. Okay, I thought it was something important. Okay. Now I need to go to the bar and find some beer cans. Alright, now I leave. And I give these to the kids. Hello, Nazi children.
Thank you. Now we'll really be able to become the best shots in the camp.
So now you're saying this rat isn't a rat?
No, I'm not. My name is Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, assholes.
So tell me, why do you want to throw rocks at those soldiers?
We have to get revenge. We're big boys now, and that's what we gotta do. Those pigs shot our dad. We heard him screaming. He's hurt real bad.
Mom said we'll never see him again.
Damn pigs! My brother and I are gonna get them. All of them.
But when they were Dad's friends, you used to say you wanted to be a soldier when you grew up.
Shut up. That was before. I wish I could reach those watchtowers with my rocks.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
That's not a bad idea. Something tells me that a little commotion along the barbed wire fence would be a good thing for everyone. It's pretty late for kids like you. What are you doing out in the street at this hour?
Hey, we're not kids. We have to practice our marksmanship. Our mom gets real mad when we do it inside the house. It's not like we have anywhere else to go in this dump.
Nowhere else to go? So you don't go to school? Don't you have any friends from school?
There is no school. Not since the explosion.
Our mom says we don't need it anyway. We're big boys now, and someday we'll be very important people in the camp. Just like our dad. That's why we don't hang out with the other kids around here. Our parents say they're rats. They'd be a bad influence on us.
Yes, we're going to be brave and strong, like our dad. Right, Michael?
Of course you will. I need your help, boys.
How can we help you, Michael?
I have to get something from inside your house. It's something I need so that I can help your father. Understand? But your mother is very agitated, and I need you to give me a hand with her. It's a mission.
What do you want us to do, Michael?
I need you to get your mother out of the house for a few minutes. Just long enough for me to go in and get what I need. Do you think you can do that?
Of course, we're big boys.
I'll owe you. I promise to give you a reward.
Okay, let's do it.
A mission.
My phone vibrated, but
Better not. Knowing what's inside that room, I have no interest in going in.
you're an idiot, dude. But alright.
Oh, my
Okay.
head!
What the
hell's going
fuck?
on? Oh, God! My head feels like it's gonna explode!
Michael, please, help us, help us. Please, remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Repent! It's the sun! Was it our fault? Did we do it? Yes! We did it!
Enough! Please! Enough!
Please, Michael, help us. Only you can do it. Remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Good God. What are these images? And that woman's voice. It's the same one that woke me up in the trailer. I'm trying to remember. And stop tormenting me. I hope Rod helps me find some answers. If not, I'll go mad. Absolutely mad.
What happened? Let's go, buddy. Come on. Now let's trade.
Greetings, pal. What's this? Are you proposing a trade? Because if you are, you came to the right place. What do you need? Liquor? Cigarettes? Food?
I'm still interested in that box of food you offered me. I brought you this pack of cigarettes.
Virginia tobacco. There's not much of this in the camp. That's a good start, but it's not enough. The pack's been open and several cigarettes are missing. I need something more.
Would a bottle of liquor do?
Fantastic. I think that's a fair price. I'll take both of them. Here you go, pal. The food package is all yours. Enjoy it in good health.
Let's go.
Here, this is what I promised you.
That's all the food you brought? This will barely feed us for 2 days.
I'm sorry, it's very complicated getting more in the camp. I only wanted to show you that you can trust me, that I can help you.
That's what all you rats in this trash heap say? But in the end, only thing you're interested in is taking advantage of my husband and me.
I've held up my
Fuck
part
off.
of the bargain. Isn't that proof enough? Listen, let me have that pass to get out of the camp, and I promise I'll come back with the morphine you need to ease your husband's suffering.
Ah, okay. But you better hurry. Here,
What's this? A bracelet?
it's like an ID badge. Wear it and the soldiers will recognize you. It won't just get you out of the camp. It'll also help you avoid all kinds of problems with the army once you reach the city. I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing by giving it to you. Just don't betray me, you rat. Bring me that morphine for my husband, and I promise ya, I'll give you lots of money in return. Much more money than you could earn in a lifetime in this shithole.
No, that's not necessary. We never said anything about money.
I have to know you're coming back. I don't trust any of you, and I know that money is the only thing that'll make you keep your word. All you camp rats are alike. Now get out of my sight, and don't make me regret this. And don't come back without my husband's morphine. There'll be a fat wad of cash waiting for you.
Okay.
Let's go.
I don't mean to bother you, but could I ask you a few questions?
Hey, it seems like we have a nosy rat in the camp.
I won't bother you anymore.
Get...
I don't quite see how...
Go through that gate.
Do you need to get a closer look at what I have on my wrist?
Wait a minute. Look, he's got on one of those ID bracelets the camp moles wear. Those cockroaches are very useful to us in here. Lower your gun and let him leave.
You heard him. Get out of here, rat.
From here, I can see how the road leading out of the refugee camp splits into 3 paths. One leads to a kind of depression in the ground, another leads to a graded water outlet, and the third disappears into the distance, beyond the last hill. Could that be the road leading to the city?
Am I dead?
I can't reach it from here. Maybe I should find a way to get to the bottom of this enormous hole first.
I'm guessing a rope through there.
This hole in the ground is steep walls of mud and earth. The distance to the bottom is several yards. How the hell was this cesspit formed? I suppose the rain has been flooding the pit little by little. This water is so dark you can't even see the bottom.
Alright, so jump.
It's the charred remains of a tree trunk, fighting to keep from being devoured by the enormous hole in the ground. For the moment, it's holding its own. It seems firmly rooted in the soil. Impossible. It's beyond my reach. The bars are keeping me from getting there.
Maybe acid?
In the distance, the other end of this tunnel fades out of sight among the shadows. Where does it lead?
I don't know, but it's kind of creepy.
So, I enter the city. It welcomes me with its most merciless and bitter grimace. What I see before my eyes is not what I expected. Doomsday made it here, too. Even if no one in the refugee camp knows it yet. Damn it. The city looks as bruised and battered by the catastrophe as the rest of us.
What is God doing?
Help me, please! Help me! Don't let them find me in the street after curfew. They'll take me to the refugee camp. Help me, please! But don't make any noise. There's a patrol just round the corner.
But what is it you need me to do?
It's almost curfew. I need a place to sleep. I need a place to hide, or they'll send me to the refugee camp. Don't you understand?
What is all this about a curfew?
At curfew, the soldiers want the streets cleared. And the way they see it, if you're out on the street after curfew, it means that you've got nowhere to go. You don't have a home. You don't belong here. And that makes you a rat. And so they take you to the refugee camp. I can't go to the camp, understand? I can't go there.
You need a roof over your head, and you don't have anywhere to go.
I used to, but it doesn't exist anymore. I owned an apartment a few blocks from here. The block was badly damaged by the Great Wave, but it was still standing.
And what happened to your home?
This morning we had to evacuate the area in a hurry. We ran out in the streets with whatever we had on. Apparently, the foundation was starting to crumble. And a few hours later, all that was left of my home was a pile of smoking rubble, with 40 years of memories buried beneath it. But I can't let them take me to the camp. I need to get into another house before the curfew. Please, help me.
Okay, give me those bolt cutters. I'll see what I can do.
This house was empty, but the army has sealed it off. If I can just get this padlock off before curfew, I'll be safe. I need to get in here. But please, don't make too much noise. If the soldiers find us, they won't hesitate to kill us.
Impossible. I'm sorry. I can't do anything with this.
I need to get in there. I need to get in.
I'm looking for a place. Something like a pharmaceutical warehouse. Would you know anything about that?
I don't really know. There's a small medical center just outside the city limits. I suppose you mean that, right? They built it in a hurry, just knocked it together after the Great Wave. No one really knows what it's for, but there are vehicles going in and out of the place all the time. Whatever they're doing in there, they're keeping it very secret. Not even my daughter would tell me what goes on inside.
Did you say your daughter?
Yes, my daughter. My little Uma. She works there as a nurse. I'm afraid she left me. I suppose she got tired of living with a frail, sick old man like me. Because one day she simply left the house, and I haven't seen her since. It's been months now. I think she was right to leave me. These times are hard enough. You don't want to burn yourself with someone like me.
I'm sorry. I can't help you.
Help me, please.
It looks like this heating technology is not limited to the refugee camp. These bonfires are used here too, and their emissions are just as toxic here as they are there. What the hell could they be burning in them?
Hello, friend. You look lost. Come over by the fire.
It's dying down, but maybe it'll last until curfew.
As long as those uniformed psychopaths don't decide to end our little get-together first, of course.
Hey, look! One of those magic bracelets from the camp. They say that place is a real hellhole. A kind of living death. So, you've come back from the dead. Do they call you Lazarus?
Well, you could put it that way. You were saying something about a curfew. What time does it start exactly?
Well, it depends on the mood of the soldiers in this zone. But you know it's time to go home when they start taking their guns out of their holsters.
Today they're extremely jumpy. I don't think it'll be long before they start insulting people and hitting them with their rifle butts.
You guys are awfully hard on them. It's just their crude way of showing us affection.
Oh, shut up. In any case, you don't have to worry. That bracelet means you don't have to hide from them. You know that's one of the privileges that comes with it.
And you? Do you people have to hide?
We try to stay out of their way. The first rule is, be home before curfew. Anyone who isn't gets dragged off to refugee camp. That's one of the strictest laws the Great Wave imposed upon this city.
And do you know how things are elsewhere? Do you get news from outside?
I'm afraid not. With no communications or transportation, and with the army on every corner, we are totally cut off.
Who cares anyway? When you don't know from one day to the next if you're gonna be alive, there's no time to worry about what happens 100, 1,000, or 100,000 miles away.
I understand. Why are you afraid of the soldiers? I'd heard that things function better here.
I don't know where you heard that, friend, but whoever told you that was lying. Here, things are very ugly and getting uglier every day. Everything's in short supply: water, food, medicine.
We have a surplus of just two things: misery and violence. Life is cheap here, and getting cheaper all the time, especially since the army took over.
The army? I see. And what happened to the other authorities? The politicians? The laws?
Those are distant memories from the old world, my dear. Get them out of your head, because all that collapsed like a house of cards. Since the Great Wave, no one's got any plan, strategy. We're all adrift.
He's right. The most reliable thing we have left is what you see around the corner. Armed teenagers in uniform on the streets, on the rooftops, just as scared as we are, or more, and shooting anything that moves.
I think our common destiny is to finally die of starvation, of disease, or boredom. I don't know which of the three options I find the most cruel. Who knows? Maybe the most sensible thing is to organize a group excursion and break into Suicide Park.
Suicide Park? Don't call it that. It's not funny. That name's as stupid as that hospital they built in such a hurry next to it. It's crazy. The entire city is starving and sick, and the soldiers keep those medical facilities locked up like Fort Knox.
But what good is it having medical facilities if no one can use them? I don't understand.
No one does, friend, but that's the way it is. I don't know why anyone would want to go into that building, but I can assure you that they're not going to get treated for anything in there, not even for a miserable cold.
Besides, it's a real fortress. The person would be more likely to come out sick from an overdose of gunpowder and lead. You know how it is, dear. There's no cure for love or death. Hey, I like that last phrase. It would make a good opening line for a story.
Oh, will you shut up for once, Ramon? Don't pay any attention to him. In the old world, he earned his living writing stories, and he still thinks that all that waste paper might someday be useful after the Great Wave.
And in fact, it is. A good deal of that scrap paper is fueling this bonfire right now, dear. So I can consider my literary career to have been worthwhile.
Did you say Suicide Park? Someone in the camp told me about that place.
And the first dark stars come out to hang from the sky. We could sit and count them together, you and I.
When the sun departs from Suicide Park. Yes, I recognize the song. But what the hell is it? Is there really a place with that name?
Yes, it exists. After the Great Wave, and when things were starting to get really ugly here, the weakest among us eased their suffering with a bullet, by overdosing, or by jumping from high places. You know how it is. All those dark stars had a hard time finding a reason to go on living.
There was a terrible wave of suicides, and there still is.
The problem is at some point a problem arose. How should I put it? A serious logistical problem. Access to drugs and firearms became practically impossible. So the easiest thing was to grab a rope or a belt and go to Suicide Park after dark.
There was a time when it was hard to find a free branch anywhere in the park.
The suicides in the area multiplied at such a rate that the army closed down the park. They said for public health reasons.
For months, the only thing blooming in that park were the corpses of the hanged. The place became more like a theme park. Lots of fun for everyone.
I told you not to make jokes about that. Don't you have any respect for anything?
Of course not. That was one of the many things I lost in the Great Wave. And one of the things I missed the least, believe me.
Thanks for the chat.
Thanks for the company, friend.
Jesus, man, Ramon is a bitch.
Judging from what remains of the stained glass windows and the murals, this pile of rubble must have been a place of worship before the Great Wave struck. Now it's one of the most badly damaged buildings in the area. There are hardly any walls still standing. Judging from what...
Send us a sign, Lord. We need a sign from you.
Hey, wait a minute. I know that voice.
Are we guilty of arousing your rage? Did we do it? Speak with your tongue of fire, Lord. Purge us with unrelenting justice. Send us a sign. Is this our doing? Are you punishing us for our arrogance? Unleash your thunderous voice, Lord. Release us from this intolerable uncertainty. Did we do it? Send us a sign.
I'm getting a strong impression that man's a fanatic and a little bit deranged. But his sermon made me curious. What could he mean by, we did it?
Illuminate us with your fiery voice, Lord. Send us a sign.
A few parishioners listened to the words of the preacher.
I'm sorry.
Although I'm sure that, like me, they can't decipher the meaning of his mystical rants either.
Illuminate us with your fiery voice, Lord. Send us a sign.
The catastrophe caused a lot of damage to the statue's pedestal. The fact that the statue is still standing is a miracle. Considering the condition of the rest of the church, it's amazing that the stained glass window is still in place and practically intact. Such little light that gets in from the street gives it a ghostly appearance.
I mean, it is Lucifer falling from heaven into hell.
Did we do it?
Seated on these disarranged pews, some people are listening to the preacher. Others just nod off. I guess they don't have anywhere else to go.
Illuminate us.
I'm not going to interrupt him in the middle of his sermon. That would be rude.
Send us a sign.
That
You
must
won't
be
even
Reverend
care.
Blake, the preacher I heard about in the camp. I don't understand a word of that man's sermon. And I'm afraid the other faithful don't either. Could that be the reason why everyone reveres him so much?
The thunderous voice of your angels
Glass
through
shards.
the gash. That is your sign.
The remains of the stained glass window that went with the intact one on the other side of the door of the church. The great wave must have shattered it.
Illuminate us with your fiery voice, Lord. Send us a sign.
Shut the oh.
What was formerly the entrance to a subway stop is now a bunker reinforced with bricks and cement. A moldy sign says, "Subway service suspended until further notice." I imagine the train tunnels were flooded or ruined after the Great Wave. It's rather disconcerting to see such a small building surrounded by such extreme security measures. Could this be the medical center people have been telling me about? This fence protects the compound on all four sides, as impenetrable and menacing as the one around the refugee camp. It seems like barbed wire barricades are the only architecture possible in this new world. So, let's see.
He's not gonna be able to do it.
Impossible. It's not that it's super heavy. It's that there's hardly any place to insert your fingers to lift this manhole cover.
Oh, okay.
Closed for public health reasons is written on this piece of wood nailed to the stump. Wait a minute. Health with no A? Judging from its girth, this giant must have lived for hundreds of years before someone got the bright idea of cutting it down. Now the stump is guarding the entrance to the park. A bucolic fountain covered with ivy and moss. The park's desolation gives it an air of mystery from the side of the fence. In its day, it must have been home to a school of goldfish, which I suppose are now gradually decomposing inside it.
I did not need that image, Michael.
You can smell these dead creatures from several yards away. I have no intention of picking up those rotten fish with my hands, to say nothing of putting them in my pocket. Strange. The soil here seems darker and less packed than the soil around it. In fact, the mud in this part of the ground is a bit damp and mushy. My fingers even leave marks in it when I touch it. Someone went to a lot of trouble to weld the front gate of the park shut. I'm afraid that access is totally and hopelessly blocked. This thick wall of trees goes from one end of the compound to the other. It's so dense that you can hardly see anything through it. Who the hell would think to build these facilities without clearing the lot first?
They were in a rush, that's for sure. Alright. I mean... Oh! Rusty nails. Thank with message. Still don't see how I can use these.
It's the silhouette of the soldiers guarding the street from around the corner. It seems like those uniformed psychopaths' rifles are projected onto each and every corner of the city.
I need to get it.
I'm sorry.
Help.
That's not what I was trying to do.
A chain with a pad. Let's not waste any more time on this. Use this here? How?
I don't know, buddy. Oh.
A dirty window at ground level for ventilation. It's the only opening this building's basement has to the outside.
Can't you break it?
Tomorrow comes today. There's something about the composition that's strangely familiar to me. Some memory related to my former life, perhaps? Or maybe it's just a memory glitch caused by the Great Wave. The nails that held up the sign, they're incredibly rusty. But considering the epidemic of the dissolve, tetanus is the least of my worries at the moment. A piece of wood with a handwritten sign. Judging from the I assume the author of the message was one. They come from one of the. They're pretty and eye-catching, and have enough. I don't think I'd get. I'm afraid I can't do that. It doesn't look.
The thunderous voice of your angels through the gash. That is your sign.
It doesn't seem like. I'm afraid I can't do that. I don't quite see how.
The thunderous voice of your angels through
This
the
column
gash.
fragment must have fallen off one of the walls during the catastrophe. Now it's keeping the pedestal of the statue company. I'm not going to interrupt.
I mean,
The ruins of the temple, the lion above the flames. We still have time.
This enormous stone cross perhaps that wasn't the original intention, but the.
Did we do it? Are we the guilty ones?
grab it. Take a statue with you.
The catastrophe caused a lot is a miracle.
Did we do it? Are we the guilty ones?
I'm not going to give it to anyone. Then I wouldn't have it anymore.
The heck?
What for? Too many things in my life have already gone up in smoke.
Uh.
I prefer to hold on to it.
You will? How?
It doesn't seem like. I'm not going to give it to anyone. What for? Let's see. I can try to rip it off. Nothing. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get it off with my hands. Use this here?
I don't know.
This entrance is reserved for authorized motor vehicles only. Get away from it. Move on.
What the hell? Those savages don't get around. I'd better avoid getting too close to that area, at least on foot. I don't think I'd gain. They were nailed in. I'm afraid it doesn't look like. I don't quite see. Impossible. If I want to dig around it, I'll need some...
Well, shit.
If I want to dig deep, I need something sharper.
Like...
I don't think doing this... I hate the grating sound, so I won't do it.
Usually, this is sharp.
Good idea. I can try to remove the damp earth with these shards of glass.
Yay! Progress. I would think that he would be cutting
to
himself.
A little bit, but these shards of glass are too small and blunt. Maybe I need something bigger that cuts better to make a decent hole. Southside Park. Would you believe it? This must be the famous Suicide Park I've been hearing so much about. Huh. The pun is as witty as it is macabre. The park is closed down, and the front gate is locked shut. If I want to get in there, it won't be through the gate. They were nailed into it. If I want to dig deep, I need some... One area has looser, mushier soil than around the rest of the fence. I've managed to excavate a little with the help of the glass shards, but they're too small and blunt to do anything more than scratch the surface.
Piece of shit.
So... impossible. Use this here?
I don't know. I'm trying all I have, bud. Well, I thought I made progress, but I didn't.
A few buildings are still standing, with a handful of city dwellers, but there's no doubt about it. This chain and padlock, whoever did this made sure... I'm afraid I can't... I prefer to hold on to... It doesn't look...
Like, here's what I would do. I would take this fucking thing.
I don't quite see...
Break the frickin' window. I'm gonna try to leave. Ah, shit.
Use this here. I don't think I'm afraid I... It doesn't look... I don't quite... Use this... This plank... Best not to waste time trying... Best not to waste...
This is getting fucking ridiculous.
Hanging up this poster... Hanging up this poster... Hanging up the...
Alright. This is ridiculous.
I don't think I'm afraid I... It doesn't look... I don't quite... Use this... Hanging up the... I don't think I'm afraid I can't... It doesn't look like... I don't quite...
Guy, I have no idea.
Use this. I don't think I'm afraid I... This plank doesn't...
Alright, Guy, Michael, chill for a bit, okay?
It doesn't look... I don't quite... Use this. I don't think I'm afraid...
Oh, fuck. I have no idea. So, if I go to the city...
The traffic in this part of the city must have been especially heavy, but now you can barely hear the sound of the few army vehicles still circulating in the surrounding areas.
Can't go. I can go to the church, I can go in here, and I can go to
Illuminate us with your fiery voice, Lord. Send us a sign.
It doesn't seem...
I don't know
afraid I
why
can't.
I wouldn't.
I'm not gonna get...
Illuminate us with your fiery voice, Lord.
doesn't look...
Send us a sign.
Motherfucker.
Let's see. If I wedge one of the ends of the plank under the statue's pedestal, the other part will rest directly on the base of the toppled
With
column.
your fiery voice, Lord. Send us a sign.
The catastrophe caused a lot of... is a miracle. This column fragment must have fallen. Now it's keeping the pedestal.
We're waiting, Lord. Did we do it? Illuminate us. Send us a sign with your just and vengeful arm. Is this our fault? Listen! It's the fiery breath of God. The Lord has sent us his sign. And I was right. It is all our fault. We did it, and we have aroused his fury.
But what the hell's going on here?
Look, that's the sign. Forgive us, Lord. Forgive us. Repent, all ye sinners.
It's the atmospheric phenomenon I've been hearing so much about. That infernal sound coming from the crack in the sky. It's terrifying.
That is the sign. We did it. Forgive us, Lord. Forgive us. My children, God has spoken to us with his darkest voice. Haven't you heard him? But there's still time. All is not lost. We still have time. Salvation lies in the place where it all began, in the ruins, at the source. We must return to the ruins of the temple. We must return. We must.
Shit.
This is a stone physics.
Nice.
Wow, look at that. Next to this enormous hunk of glass, the colored glass shards I picked up earlier look ridiculous. I'd better get rid of them.
Where is the Reverend? Oh, there he is. I can't believe I made progress, finally.
I heard your sermon, and...
Yeah, God has shown us his sign. He has finally spoken to all of us. With his thunderous voice, he has revealed the unknown. We did it. It's all our fault. We did it. But there's still time. All is not lost. There's still time to avoid it. The head of the lion above the flames holds the key to everything.
But what is it we did?
Time's the will of God. It is his heart and his hammer. Centuries and the ages belong solely to him. The celestial empire is a divine clock. Time rotates around God. Its hands are his angels and archangels. Now I see it all clearly. How could we have been so stupid? Our arrogance had enraged him. That's what we did.
This man is definitely crazy. Nothing he says makes any sense.
I beg you, leave my brother in peace. He's very upset.
We did what? I'm sorry, but I didn't understand a word you just said.
We sullied his name. We didn't know that each second is a drop of Christ's blood, and that only he can reign over the interval, over the infinite mysticism of the fragment. Only he can reign over time with his incandescent omnipotence, and we were unable to see it. And now he is enraged, and we're to blame. That's what we did.
Next thing I know, he's blaming the gays, the transgender, anyone who's not white, you know, the usual stuff.
I still don't understand what it is we did.
Each cycle is a fluorescent gust of God's will, don't you see? Can't you see it? He reigns over the days and the hours from the inscrutable luminescence of his dwelling place. And we are just instants that slip through his fingers. Time is his, and his alone. We tried to wrest it from him. That's what we did.
But what is it we did?
Time's the will of God. It is his heart and his hammer. The centuries and the ages belong solely to him. The celestial empire is a divine clock. Time rotates around God. Its hands are his angels and archangels. Now I see it all clearly. How could we have been so stupid? Our arrogance had enraged him. That's what we did.
Is this like a loop and I'm not even understanding or realizing?
I'm sorry, but I didn't understand a word you just said.
We sullied his name. We didn't know that each second is a drop of Christ's blood, and that only he can reign over the interval. Only he can reign.
Yeah, it is a
now
freaking loop. Yeah, alright. I think this is like a joke, like a reference, you know what I mean? To how the bullshit gets to people.
What signs are you referring to?
The dark angels of God clamor madly through the open wound that is bleeding the kingdom of heaven dry. Haven't you heard? They were speaking with a thunderous voice. God is furious. That is his sign.
I suppose in his delirium, the man has mistaken that strange sound coming from the gash in the sky left by the great wave as a sign from the heavens. He's definitely lost his mind.
Please be so kind as to leave us in peace. Can't you see that my brother is very agitated?
So she's not a believer.
I assume you're referring to the atmospheric phenomenon in the sky caused by the great wave.
No, no! It's the stench of human arrogance that made the gears of the gates of hell grind. And now they're opening up like a festering wound to swallow us all. Can it be that you haven't heard it? That is his sign.
Excuse me, but I don't think that was a divine sign.
We've lacerated the sacred skin of the shroud God enveloped us in. We've betrayed him We've stabbed him with our infinite arrogance, and you can see the mark etched on the heavens. Through that gash, Lucifer has shattered our name from on high. Satan is calling each and every one of us by name. Can't you hear it? That is his sign.
What signs are you referring to?
The dark angels of God clamor madly through the open wound that is bleeding the kingdom of heaven dry. Haven't you heard? They were speaking with...
Yeah.
That...
Yeah.
Tell me, what is it that we can still prevent?
The wrath of God, the destruction of man. There's still time. We did it, but we still have time. The key is in the ruins of the temple. We have to find the ruins of the temple. Look for the head of the lion above the flames. Bring me the head of the lion above the flames while there's still time.
But this church is already in ruins. It hardly has any walls or a foundation left. You're already in the ruins of the temple.
No, you're mistaken. Bring me the head of the lion above the flames.
That's enough. Stop tormenting my brother. He's exhausted.
The head of the lion above the flames? That sounds absurd. It makes no sense. I think it's best that I leave you in peace.
Yes, leave my brother in peace.
There's still time. There's still time. Bring me the head of the lion above the flames.
Alright, hold on. Let me just...
I can't help staring at this poster. It's almost an obsession. It's as if there's some hidden message in the background of the image that I'm incapable of processing. What the hell is so familiar to me about this image? And why? Tomorrow comes today. I prefer to hold on.
Alright. Oh my goodness. Let's go, Michael.
I'll do this very carefully, so that the glass doesn't break in two.
Well, do it carefully so you don't cut yourself.
Perfect. The hole I've dug is big enough to get to the other side of the fence. I refuse to touch... Good God. There are dozens, hundreds of corpses hanging from the branches. What could have drawn all these people here? What kind of pain? What kind of desperation brought them here? These are the corpses of ordinary people who were living their ordinary lives in their ordinary little worlds up to a very short time ago. Could any of them have imagined meeting an end like this back then? Forgotten and nameless, swaying in the breeze like marionettes. And all those savages in uniforms did was close the park. They didn't even bother to cut their bodies down from the trees.
True.
I'm afraid that tonight, there are too many dark stars to count in Suicide Park.
I'm no expert at all, but I'm not sure if the, like, if human
It's
bodies
impressive.
would hold up.
The
Like,
park
if,
was able to devour the fence effortlessly. The metal bars became like plasticine, molded by the whims of the vegetation. A rotting bench overlooking purgatory. It looks like the kid who hanged himself from this tree climbed up on this and then jumped with the rope around his neck. Although the crows have already done a thorough job on him, from what's left, I'd say that the corpse belongs to a young man, barely of legal age. One of the many dark stars in the park.
I thought he was
That strikes me as disrespectful, and I don't think it would do anything for me. Impossible. One of its ends is tied to the crowbar, and the other... well, the other is also tied to something.
Can I...
I'm not gonna cut it. If I can manage to salvage this rope without cutting it, it could be useful to me. I don't quite see how...
What the fuck?
Wait a minute. That guy is... the suicide victim who was hanging from this tree. No, don't do it, please. No! Good God, I saw him hang himself.
Shit.
The trees and bushes are so close together here that I can hardly push the branches to one side with my hands. Ah, the thorns in these bushes are jabbing into me like metal spikes. I'm not going to be able to open up a path this way.
Can we use this?
If I want to hack a path through this wall of vegetation, I'll have to use something that cuts better than this piece of glass.
Alright.
One of the many dark stars in the park. Although the crows have already done a thorough job on him, from what's left. Wherever I look, I see corpses hanging from these branches. Some so recent that the shadows of their faces make it seem like they're following you with their gaze.
Well, I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm supposed to do here, at least with the crowbar maybe. On this.
The crowbar fits perfectly into the hole in the manhole cover.
So I want to go there, but I also want to see if I can help the old man with this. Maybe he'll give me the bolt cutters.
I agree that violence is sometimes the shortest path between 2 points, but considering how heavy this padlock and the chain are, I'm not sure that brute force is going to help me open this door.
What?
That would be one way of getting into the house, but the noise of breaking glass would alert the soldiers posted nearby. I'd rather not think about what those savages would do.
Alright, so it don't work. Fair enough. So next episode, I'll go into the manhole then. Let me just get there. Oh, wait.
Maybe with the help of the crowbar, I can get the subway sign off the wall. Damn it! I've managed to tear it down, but the subway sign is broken in two.
Okay. Alright, so this is it. This is enough progress for now. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.